Check one. Yeah, check one. Yeah, actually, I probably need to increase the audio since we're back in the
garage
cave.
It's been a little while.
Yeah.
Actually,
We'll have to project
our voices.
Project our voices like professionals.
But we're so soft spoken.
We got to project our voices like professional podcasters that we are.
Maybe we can try to project professionalism.
That won't happen. That's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah. And no Duff again today.
No Duff again today.
What's
good reason. Family reasons again, which is good.
There's no good reason.
I guess there's no good reason.
To miss the podcast?
No.
Yeah. So what do you got anyway?
I got nothing. You got
something? Yeah, I got nothing too. Well, I could... You know what? I'll talk about that interview. I'll just tell the good listener what happened.
We could...
it's kind of a funny story.
We could have just 50 minutes of dead air.
We did that once.
Did we?
No, me. 30 years ago almost. No, 25 years ago. Doing Tom Green Show.
Oh, maybe we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, we didn't. It's quite funny.
All right.
Yeah.
Ready to roll?
Yeah.
Warning. This podcast will be an injurious waste of time. Warning. This podcast will be an injurious waste of time.
Yeah, good morning. I'll take a medium with 2 sugar and a medium regular, please.
JB.
Morning, DDT.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Good, thanks.
I'm glad we finally got ready and we got the fiasco resolved for where we were going to do the podcast today.
Yeah, sorry about that. I apologize to you and to the good listener.
Holy smokes, man.
For that fiasco.
For once, we were going to do it in my garage.
Yeah. But then I'd forgotten that my daughter was going to want to come to the hockey evaluations that I'm doing. And
yeah, we haven't talked about your hockey evaluations.
No, we haven't. But then I would have had to drive to your place, drive home, and drive back to the rink. Yeah, which didn't make sense.
You know me. I'll adjust if it has to do with family or quality father-daughter.
Now watchers tell me like she did yesterday. I'm too tired.
I don't feel like it.
Yeah, I don't feel like it.
So is she gonna help evaluate, or she?
She was, yeah.
Yeah,
she did.
Oh, good for her.
It's funny because she's a goalie, right? So any girl that took a shot and hit the goalie in the head, she would automatically mark a 1 for shooting.
I thought you were going to say...
below average.
I thought you were going to say she made them do burpees.
Or that. That could be. Do burpees, exactly. No, she's like, any person that hits the goalie in the head gets a 1 on the shooting out of 5.
That was funny, actually. I don't know that actually made a difference that year. When we were on a team again, like 3-4 years ago, and we had sort of a problem with the kids not being able to control their shots and hitting our goalies in the head.
Yeah.
And we instilled instituted the you must do 10 burpees.
Yes.
If you do that.
Yeah.
But it almost became a joke where they were actually enjoying it at some point.
Yeah.
Not enjoying hitting the goalies in the head, but they were like having fun enjoying the burpees.
Yeah, well, the goalies don't enjoy getting hit in the head with the puck. I mean, it happens during the game, but if you're in practice or especially warm-up, and this, I never see this in the NHL, of course, but I don't think they warm up the same. But in girls hockey, they go in and take shots on the goalie, right?
Yeah.
And they're supposed to, like, you're warming up the goalie.
Well, they do that in the NHL. They warm up the goalie.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so anyway, so you take shots on the goalie. You're supposed to be warming up the goalie, hitting them in the pads, blocker, glove hands, stuff like that.
Make them feel the puck,
Make them feel the puck,
what
exactly.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
But in girls hockey, they seem to be practicing their shot.
Well, they want to score.
And they don't look.
No.
And so if they can raise the puck, they'll raise the puck without looking where it's going, and it'll hit the goalie in the head. So I ended up having to buy a new mask for my daughter.
Because she got smoked in the head so many times?
So many times, and the mask was getting a bit old, so...
Well, that year, I actually found... I had found some pictures that were the puck perspective related to where the goalie is. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And I actually printed them out and brought them to all the girls. And essentially anything above the shoulder, if you're shooting with the puck, anything above the goalie's shoulders is going above the net anyways.
Yeah.
Right? From the puck's perspective.
Yes.
Like when you're a player and you're looking at the net, it's like, no problem, right? I can, but your eyes don't see where the puck is.
Yeah, exactly.
So from the puck's perspective, anything above the shoulder is going above the net anyways.
Yeah, for the most part.
They're just excited. Like same thing with the young boys, right?
Yeah.
My son, he's U15, which is bantam, and it's the same thing. They all want to raise the puck still, right?
Yeah.
So they're all smoking the goalies in the heads. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad for the goalie because one time my daughter took one off the side of the helmet. Now the front is not too bad.
Well, it's not good anyways.
It's not good anywhere,
No.
but the front compared to the side, and she didn't even see it coming because I don't know what the girl was thinking. She just took a shot towards the net.
Yeah.
But the side, you don't usually get hit there because you're looking at the puck. So a lot of the masks protect really well in the front, right? Because that's the way.
Well, you should always be facing the play. But
Well,
I think I remember that scenario, and it was like it was in a warm up.
Yeah.
And you have, again, they don't give time for the next player to go. They're like,
no.
Oh, she's out of position. Maybe I'll be able to score.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
But you don't shoot at a goalie unless, when you're, especially your goalie. You don't shoot at a goalie unless they're ready for the puck.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened. She was kind of following one puck, and then somebody came up and shot, and then she wasn't ready for that shot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The other thing, too, is that what they do is, in warm-up, they take a slap shot from the slot.
Oh, yeah. From, the ringette line.
Exactly. Wind up for a slap shot in warm-up.
I'm 3 feet away, and I'll wind up for a slap shot. You can hit the goalie in the head with your stick. They're that close.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
So a lot of the times in warm-up, it's like she doesn't even try to save a lot of the pucks because they're either off the mark, or over the net, like you said, stuff like that. So she'll let the ones that come at her hit her because that's what it's supposed to be for, right? Anyway. But thank you for the coffee.
Oh, you're welcome.
And we should say that we're in the my garage cave today.
I think we have.
Did we say that?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
And we said we had no duff.
We'll have to beep ourselves, and we said there's no duff.
No duff.
I think we're repeating ourselves.
Yeah.
But that's all right. We're getting old.
It's okay
normal
to repeat because we have no content.
There you go. Speaking of no content, do you have an apology? We got to start with an apology.
I did say in the apology
You're
at the
Canadian?
beginning.
No.
Yeah, apologize for the fiasco.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But that's not an official apology. You were apologizing to me. You weren't apologizing to good listeners.
Well, I did say and to the good listener.
So maybe we should apologize for the fact that there was no podcast last weekend.
And there is a good reason for that.
And that there's been a terrible inconsistency as to when these things get posted.
Oh my God. I know. But we should apologize for no podcast last week. But there was a good reason. Good reason for that.
There was quite the good reason, yeah.
We had a big storm that blew through, literally.
Yeah.
With 90 to 100 mile per hour winds.
Yeah, for the good listeners that aren't in the Ontario, Quebec region, the capital city of Canada, Ottawa, was hit as well with a giant part of the province, of both provinces were hit with a massive storm.
Yeah.
Which I think most people initially thought wherever they were in the province, I think was a bunch of tornadoes.
Yeah, it wasn't though.
No.
It's got some Spanish name. What's it called?
It's a derecho or derecho. It's
some name.
Derecho. So I don't know exactly how to spell that. But so I was having this argument with my wife after the fact. Not argument, but conversation about, well, it's not a tornado because there's no real specific path of destruction.
There's no vortex.
No. Well, even in our neighborhood.
A tornado's a swirling wind.
Yeah, but you'll usually see a line of destruction,
because of the swirl.
It can pop up and pop back down.
Yeah.
As we saw in, I don't know, was it 2011 the last time?
2018.
2018?
And big and gun rob in there.
Yeah, but that also hit like on the Quebec side and stuff. So they kind of hopped over the river and then kind of kept going. But in this case, there was no kind of path of destruction. It was just really kind of, it was just random, a little bit all over the place.
Well, so a Derecho or whatever it's called, is straight ahead winds at top speed. So there's no vortex to them. So it's just, the whole thing is just straight ahead winds, and that's what caused a lot of the destruction, toppling trees and hydro poles and such. Well, because the winds were like 90 miles per hour.
But the weird thing is it just seemed to be, it would just seem to randomly knock over trees here and there. Like you'd have two trees pretty much the same size, like one there and one across the street. And the one across the street, you know, like these 40-year-old trees, which are giant, would be completely uprooted and knocked down. And then the house across the street had nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, again, you're right. It's a random thing, but also maybe we should get an arborist as a guest. Things we should do but don't.
We should.
Because there's a lot of, I think, that goes into why a tree might break in half or something like that. I think it's more than, I think a lot sometimes the health of the tree might play in. And I'm speculating here.
We're just guessing.
We're guessing. So we have an arborist. Maybe they can tweet at us at Cop Car Coffee on Twitter and let us know why a tree would topple over.
Or at copcarcoffee@gmail.com.
Yeah.
We've yet to receive one email from anyone, so hopefully someday.
We usually have a listener bag, but that's not through email.
No, yeah. But
you're right.
Somebody should email in some information somewhere. Yeah. And we're still waiting to figure out what the name of our new podcast will be.
Are we going to actually rename it?
I think we should. I think we need to rename it.
I don't know. Duff, I don't know. Duff is, he's kind of...
He's hesitating.
He's hesitating.
Yeah, he's hesitating.
I didn't like, what name did you guys throw out there?
Well, we were throwing out the Ultra Crepidarian podcast.
Crapidarian?
Crepidarian.
Not crap.
Which is essentially what we are, right? Which is like the conversation we're having right now.
I can't even say that.
We're talking about arborists and cutting trees and derechos or derechos, and so essentially that word means that you're talking about something you have no idea about with authority. Which is pretty much what we do, like every single week. So it's actually like, it's perfect.
So what is it? Ultra Crapidarian?
Ultra Crepidarian.
Crepidarian, but I prefer Crapidarian.
Yeah, I know. It's because you're full of crap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're all full of crap because we all talk about nothing that we have.
Well, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll ask a good listener. What?
Well, yeah, a good listener should please let us know via email and or via Twitter. What you guys think about the new podcast name? Ultra Crepidarian Podcast.
The Ultra Crepidarian Podcast.
Yeah.
I can't even say the word.
Of course, you've said it like 6 times.
And not very well.
Well, you're saying it in a crappy way.
A crappy way.
There you go.
Exactly.
So where were you during the storm? Like when it hit?
Here. I was at home.
Okay.
And in the house.
So I was actually on my way.
Were you biking?
No. So I had just, one of my son's little friends, it was like 3:30, and one of his friends was over, and I think we had maybe just got the warning, or maybe the warning hadn't come in yet. But he goes, I'm going to bike home. And I kind of looked outside at the sky, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think you will. So I threw his bike in my car, and I drove him home with my son.
Yep.
And then I came back to my place to drop off my son, and then I kind of jumped in the car to go pick up my daughter, who was done work at the Tanger outlets at 4.
Tanger.
Yeah. So I stopped in our neighborhood at the mailboxes to pick up the mail as I was kind of heading there, because we hadn't gone in a few days. Yeah. And I kind of looked at the sky, and it's like, it's dark, fairly calm, no rain yet. Yeah. Walked to the mailbox, unlocked the mailbox, grabbed the mail, locked the mailbox, turned around, and then it
got hit by a wall of wind.
It started.
Yeah.
And it went from 0 to like probably I'd say 60 kilometers an hour in one shot. And by the time I made it to my vehicle, it was full tilt.
Wow.
So I started driving, and you've been to our neighborhood. Like, there's 30, 40-year-old trees or older everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, we have a dog fight out there or something?
Oh, they're apologizing to each other.
They're apologizing.
Yeah. They don't like the new name of the podcast. So anyway, I started driving, and there's like tons.
Keep it down out there. We're recording a podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
We're trying to be professional here for once.
Jeez.
So I'm driving in this, and there's literally trees and branches falling on either side of me, and I'm just trying to make my way out of our neighborhood onto like a major roadway so that I could be like safe from being smacked with a tree.
Yeah. Jesus.
And I made it out fine. But it was scary. I've been in really bad rainstorms in my car where, you can barely see anything in front of you and stuff, but
nothing like that.
No.
Wow.
And that's why I was saying to my wife, it wasn't a tornado. To me, it felt like a hurricane. Yeah. Right? And my wife is like, well, hurricanes come off the ocean. Like, they're off the ocean.
They also have a vortex pattern.
So it's not a hurricane. So having said that, the derecho or derecho is apparently, based on what I've read, is a combination of both. Yeah. It's like hurricane force winds with some of those vortex type things. Yeah. But it's just shocking like how long it was. Like it started at like in southern Ontario.
Well, I think it started in the U.S. actually.
Well, maybe.
And blew up through over the Great Lakes.
Maybe. That's possible.
I saw it started in like Michigan or something.
So it came all the way through Ontario, kind of ripped through Quebec, and then actually caused a whole bunch of damage in Maine as well. So it's a giant swath.
Yeah.
And currently we're 1 week behind. So we were out of power for like a little over 2 days. Yeah. You were longer, I think.
It was. So let's explain. So after that blew through.
So that was 4:00 on Saturday afternoon. I was picking up my daughter at 4.
Yeah. And it blew through and then knocked down trees, toppled trees, split them in half, and also hydro poles and stuff like that.
Like tons of hydro, but not just hydro poles.
I heard 200 hydro poles itself.
So the hydro poles, which is essentially, again, like
they have a couple types. They have a wood ones, and then
it was all wood ones, I think, which they essentially just sheared them right in half.
That's right. Yeah.
But there's the giant metal towers.
We have one of them
hydro towers. I think there was more.
Was there more than one?
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought
like in the Hunt Club area. Apparently, there was a few of them. I think that went down, but like those are giant metal structures. Like it takes a heck of a lot of force to be able to knock that down.
Yeah.
So that happened.
Well, they're made for the high winds too, right?
Shingles like off roofs everywhere.
Yeah, I saw here in my neighborhood one of the trees that fell over narrowly missed two vehicles parked in his driveway. Now it did sort of caused a little bit of damage, branches going through a rear window, and just kind of dented one of the cars. But both cars could have been crushed.
Did you have damage?
No, I had one branch down. Oh, I did. My fence blew over.
Okay.
But that was inevitable anyway. It could have blown over with like a 30-mile-per-hour wind just because the base, the base is...
It's all rotten.
It's all rotted out anyway, so I've got to fix that.
So we had so in our neighborhood, when I was driving back with my daughter, I saw like the extent of the damage of all the fallen trees that I was actually driving through on my way out. And as we were driving back, there's like, a giant maple tree that was on 2 cars in somebody's driveway, like just a brand new van and a brand new car, both pretty badly crushed. Trees on houses. In our own yard, we have a big spruce, and it essentially split in half, and it fell on our trampoline, which was crushed.
Wow.
No damage to the house, thankfully, except a bit of the sort of the gutter at the top, but no damage to the house. My neighbor's house giant tree split in half, fell on his roof, part of it, and then the other part fell on his deck and crushed his deck.
Jeez.
So there was, again, just lots, I would say hundreds of trees in our neighborhood were uprooted and or just split in half.
So odd that I went to my dad's after the storm passed through and everything was fine at his house. But the next day I get a text, I think from my sister saying, oh, a tree fell right through Dad's fence and the neighbor's fence. And it was quite funny because there's an old tree there, and I think part of it had fallen during another windstorm and crushed my dad's fence a little bit. And he had, it's NCC property, the National Capital Commission owns that land. Yeah. And they came and looked at it and said, oh, no, it'll be fine. Well, the day after the windstorm, I guess it was in a precarious position and just fell over and knocked down his fence and the neighbor's fence.
Well, that's not the only one I've heard about. There's been quite a few in Ottawa where a tree was weakened, and then like midweek this week we had another bit of like rain come through, and I think there was like 60 kilometers an hour winds. Yeah. And a few trees that were sort of had been weakened, like cracked or fell. So the tree in our backyard, speaking of arborists, we actually took a few pictures and sent them via email to a company that we had dealt with to get like our front tree trimmed and stuff like that. And it's gonna have to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's essentially like all of the branches are still on the tree on one side, and on the other side the branches are completely gone. Like that big, like essentially it had like two parts at the top, and then one of those big branches fell over. So the weight is all on one side, and the tree's already kind of leaning on that side. Yeah. So if we get another storm with wind in the other direction, it's gonna go. And it's a giant tree. Like I'd say it's probably 20 feet over our house. So it's.
So how much is it gonna cost you to get that?
Well, I don't know. We're gonna have to. But I mean, I'm spitballing here based on prices we've heard before, but probably $500 or $700.
Wow.
And I don't even
too bad.
know.
I thought it'd be more than that, maybe. But.
Well, I don't even know if that's gonna be the sort of the roots as well, and the trunk, the tree trunk. Well, sometimes they just come and they cut it down, and then they have to bring another machine to be able to eat it up. Right. So I might just take an axe and just kind of get rid of the trunk myself and see what I can do with that. But that's kind of one of the things I was wondering, right? Like I have a tiny bit of damage on my eaves trough. I have the trampoline that was destroyed. And then we kind of have to pay for someone to remove this tree now. Yeah. You kind of balance out. It's like I pay so much money every year for insurance, right? But is it actually worth putting a claim in?
Well, it depends on how much your deductible is.
Well, I don't know. I think that's all. I'm going to have to look into that.
Yeah. Because mine is $1,000. Like.
Well, I think that's what ours is too.
Yeah, so if it wasn't so expensive, then maybe I would have them come and look at my fence and say, oh, give some excuse, but $1,000 like to replace a pole, which I can do myself in an afternoon.
Well, that's the thing, right? So you go, okay, well, if the tree, let's say the trampoline's $500, the tree is, $700, and to get somebody in to fix the eaves trough is a couple $100, right? Yeah. So I'm looking at what, like $1,500. So at that point,
you're paying $1,000.
I'm paying $1,000 deductible potentially to save $500, and then how does that affect my insurance moving forward, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
it's decisions.
Well, we're actually shopping around right now to change up our insurance.
Oh, okay.
Because in doing some research over the course of the past few weeks actually and years, I used to be with kind of I'll call it a mom and shop insurance company.
Mom and pop.
Mom and pop.
Mom and shop.
Is that what I said? Mom and shop.
Mom and shop.
Mom and pop shop.
There you go.
Mom and pop shop insurance company in the east end of Ottawa, and they got sort of sold or bought out by BrokerLink.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So before, when I used to call and I had sort of personal service, I knew these people. And
now it's somebody from the Philippines.
Well, no, I think it's still local, but who knows, right? Like I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know how big BrokerLink is.
I think
whatever
they're
the
pretty
case
big.
may be. Can we say BrokerLink? I don't know.
I just said it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Anyway, we're looking
disparaging.
around.
You're kind of disparaging them, so we don't have to beep it out.
Well, they're not bad. It's just it's any large company. All of a sudden, it's decentralized, depersonalized, right?
Yes, for sure.
So we're looking at Desjardins, which oddly enough, I think their tagline for their insurance is the relationship you have with your broker, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then
those commercials out there, they said it's like a game show thing, and they're trying to name their clients.
Exactly.
He has 2 cars. Blah 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 blah. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's know your customer, right? So then there's potentially CAA insurance, there's Desjardins, there's Costco. So we're calling around. Anyway, all that to say, one of the reasons is I think we've talked about this a while back about selling stuff, because we were selling one of our cars, which we still own at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
We didn't want to
give it away.
Yeah, you get lowball offers constantly, right? So I had a few people that were actually interested, but I kind of half-heartedly followed up with them, knowing that my daughter is going to have her G2 license, which in Canada, for the Podbean skis, is graduated licensing. So you start off with G1. You write a quick test, and they check to see if you have a pulse, and then they give you a G1 license, which you have to drive with someone else in the car
that has a full license.
That has a full license, and then
certain hours you can't.
You're not allowed to drive on major highways. You're not allowed to drive after midnight, I think. And then G2 kind of allows you to drive by yourself, but again with certain limitations.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure how long the G2 license works.
I think it's 5 years.
And then you can do, is it that long?
I believe so. If it's anything like the M2, which is the motorcycle.
Yeah.
M2 is 5 years.
And then afterwards you pass another test, I believe, to get
a driver test.
Your full G license.
Yeah, you got to go for on the road.
Yes, on the road. So my daughter's road test is scheduled for like a week and a half from now.
Okay.
So I'm going to call the insurance companies to find out how many limbs I'd have to cut off for her to be able to sort of, because when you have
she's working now, so she can pay part of her insurance.
Yes, she could for sure, and the gas, which is almost just as much right now.
Yeah.
So I'll find out to see what it would cost, because when you have a third car, you can't have, like, my wife and I are sort of.
She might be the primary driver.
She has to be the primary driver on the third car. My daughter,
which might be a lot more expensive.
Which could be absolutely ridiculously expensive.
But
so
I mean,
we're gonna look into that.
It is a girl or woman, so basically, I know their insurance rates are lower, traditionally speaking, because
with due cause.
Yeah.
With due cause, I believe it's
So it might not be.
The young boys aren't always thinking necessarily quite as straight.
No.
When they make decisions at that age, so.
Well, good luck with your decisions.
Yeah, we'll find out. You know what? It's there's bigger problems in the world than me deciding which insurance company I'm going to go with.
Like my problem.
And thankfully,
fly in here.
Thankfully, you know what? Like, very minimal damage to pretty much anyone I know. The tree we have in our yard, I was able to use the brand new chainsaw I bought last year at the end of the season that I was going to use on the lot that we purchased, and I hadn't even fired up my chainsaw at all last year.
Now it's getting good work.
I didn't even start it. Yeah, so last weekend I actually got my chainsaw started. Cut my tree up, cut the neighbor's tree off his roof and off his deck.
Cut a lot of stuff at your lot.
Yesterday, went up to the lot to see if there was any damage there. A couple trees down, so cut those up. So I've been having a lot of fun with the chainsaw.
There you go.
Which is...
this story is turning into a duck story.
Yeah, I know.
I'm looking at the time. It's like 20 minutes.
20 minutes a storm.
Yeah.
Well, your brother's still walking, so we're good.
That's right. Exactly. He moved to Calgary, eh?
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow. Is he still going to listen from Calgary?
He'll listen probably. But I got... so we should maybe move on from that story. All that to say, that's the reason why we didn't get a podcast out last week, because we had no power, basically.
Yes.
And we were too busy trying to clean things up
So speaking of segueing,
Yeah.
which I think is what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Did your brother get a new job?
He did not get a new job.
Oh,
He's working for himself.
Oh, okay.
So, no, they decided, him and his wife, they were going to move out. They wanted to move somewhere out of Ottawa for a year. And
Just a year?
Yeah,
Okay.
right now it's just a year.
Well, everybody's working remotely, so you technically can work from anywhere.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
But here's the story on that. So he was scheduled to leave last Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, so the storm hits, right? He loaded up, he rented a trailer and loaded all that up on Saturday and everything like that.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Storm hits, okay, out of power, but he ends up leaving on Sunday. Anyway.
Okay.
I get a call around 11:30. Hey, calls me Doofus for
Nice.
short for Doofus.
Yeah. Brotherly love.
Hey Doof, actually it was through a text. Either there or wank for wanker.
Nice.
Anyway, one of those two, and he goes, "Do you have a gas can?" This is through text. "You have gas in a gas can?" I text him back, "Yeah, why?" "I ran out of gas."
No way.
Or I'm close to running out of gas and I'm stuck on Kinbird Side Road.
Oh my gosh, they couldn't find a gas station.
Well, there's one there, and it looks
Yeah.
like a newer gas station, but the problem is they had no power either, right? He goes, "Can you come out and can you bring the gas can out to me, whatever, and fill me up so I can get to Arnprior, which is another 15 minute drive."
I don't even know if Arnprior had power.
No, they did. They
Okay.
lost. Yeah, so they could have got gas there. But I'm like, why didn't you fill up like the day before? Why leave these things to the last minute?
Because it keeps life
Regardless,
exciting.
well,
Yeah.
regardless of storm, like even if we didn't have that storm and the power was out, I guess he could have got gas where he was. But at the same time, wouldn't you want to fill up? Be ready.
Yeah, I'm that kind of guy. Like
Yeah.
if we go camping or something like that, like I'm the day before, trailer's hooked up, the car's full of gas,
Yeah,
everything's
exactly.
packed, ready to go, kind of thing. Don't leave that to the last minute.
He said, have me on and I'll talk about that. We can get him on as a
So
guest.
there's speaking of which, there's still 50,000 people without power between
Here,
Quebec and Ontario.
Yeah.
So
lot.
and like just at the corner of our street, there's a gas station and it's still not open a week later.
Yeah. Like when they opened the gas station up here, but the McDonald's is not open yet.
So that's the thing that people were running around trying to get generators, and then they actually couldn't get gas for their generators because there was so few gas stations open, and when you got to the gas station, it was over an hour, if not longer, to be able to wait in line.
Lineups. I don't understand the hoarding thing. That's like going back to hoarding the toilet paper at the beginning of COVID.
It's just terrible.
The one thing you're going to do is like go get gas. Like what? Like you're not going anywhere anyway. There's no power going to be power for days.
No.
So where the heck are you going?
Well, that's speaking of the hoarding thing. It's like people were selling generators on Facebook and Kijiji, like the reseller sites.
Yeah.
For like double the price. Yeah.
Price gouging.
It's horrible. Like I just don't understand that. Like if I looked around my neighborhood during after the storm, everybody was out trying to help somebody else.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're cutting trees in my backyard, we're cutting trees in my neighbor's yard.
Yeah.
Or, people are walking around trying to help other people and kind of clean up things, making sure that people are okay.
Yeah.
And then you get that small percentage of people that are just trying to take advantage of those situations.
Yeah.
And it's just so sad. Thankfully, it's a small percentage of people, right? Like it's not the society, but man, oh man, it just breaks your heart to see that kind of stuff.
That's human nature. It's always going to happen.
Yeah.
When they can make a quick buck like that, they'll.
Well, the pandemic, right? People are trying to sell, not antibiotic, but disinfectant.
Oh yeah.
And the toilet paper, as you were
yeah.
saying, right? People were hoarding stuff and then trying to sell it. It's just horrible.
Ridiculous. But moving on from that, because that was a Duff story.
It was
30 minutes long.
30 minutes long.
I've got to wrap up soon because I got to get those evaluations.
You got lots of time.
But we'll segue into my little story of my adventures in job hunting, shall we say?
Yes.
Adventures in job hunting.
Is this actually going to be a segment?
That's a segment.
Yeah. We're going to be job hunting for so long that we're going to make a segment.
We're going to make a segment of it, exactly. So as maybe the good listener Podbeansky would know, I've been laid off, but I'm still working until the end of August. So that's working layoff.
Yeah.
But anyway, my job hunting is interesting. I applied for the federal government. It's a huge process to get in there. You got to answer all these questions, and usually it's a pool that you go into. So at any time you fill this thing out and then wait, and it could be like a week, it could be a year before they get back to you, depending on what their needs are, I guess, as personnel go. Anyway, so it's for a comms job. I won't say what department or anything like that, communications job. But so I did all that online, and then it wasn't that long. So about 3 months later, they contact me for another,
phase two,
phase two, quote unquote interview, and I do that because what you got to do is do it on video. So you got to record yourself online through this. It's called VidCruiter, I guess we can say that.
Like video recruiting.
Video recruiting,
company.
where they record, and then it gets sent to the employer.
That's
right?
actually quite cool.
It's interesting, but at the same time, it's like, what? Like, it's just, can't we just have a normal interview? So I don't know. But anyway.
Maybe that's phase 3.
It could be phase 3. But anyway, so you got to go on to the site, and then you hit record, and you say your answers. You get 15 minutes to prepare your answer, and then you've got two opportunities. If you don't like your first one, you can record a second one. Per question, and you got 8 minutes for those.
Okay.
So I do the first question. I prepare for the 15 minutes. I hit record. I do my answer. Hit stop and save recording, and then it goes to the screen where it loads, and you can watch your video. So I watch it back, the whole 8 minutes, or almost 8 minutes, and I'm like, I probably could do a better answer. So I'll do another one. First question. This is the first question. So I look at my notes again and make a couple adjustments, and I'm ready to go. Hit record. Do another 7.5 to 8 minutes, and I look at it. Stop and save recording. Stops and saves, and then it loads. And this time I see it loads fairly quickly. I'm like, that's odd, because last one took 30 seconds. This one took like 5 seconds, right? So I hit play to watch my answer, and it's 4 seconds of me with my finger in my ear scratching my ear.
So how did that happen?
I don't know. I have no clue how it happened.
Oh my gosh.
Because the first one, like I said, was fine. Obviously I know technology and stuff.
And this is your second and last try for that first question.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. So what are your options?
Well, so I contacted the IT support for this company, and I said, hey, listen, this is what happened. I said, it seemed to be recording fine. Then I hit stop and save, and then I go to play it back, and it's me scratching my ear. And he's like, oh, let me have a look. And he goes, he can see it, I guess, because you give him the information. He goes, yep, it's 4 seconds of you scratching your ear.
Oh my gosh.
I go, well, that's not good, because right there they're going to disqualify me for that. Like, they think I'm joking or something like that? Anyway, he goes, okay. Well, right now I'll put in a request with the employer, and we'll see if they will let you redo that first question again, because there was a technical issue on the recording. I said, okay, great. He goes, you should record the next 2 answers. There was 3 questions in total. So he said, okay, record the next 2 and then just submit that, and we'll wait to hear back. So I record the next 2, no problems. I did one a couple of times. I think I did both a couple of times. So no problems recording there. So I really don't know what happened to the first one. Why I did that.
So you still haven't heard back?
I haven't heard back, but I followed up with the recruiting company site again, and they said, okay, well, we haven't heard back, so we'll follow up with them again.
Yeah, these processes for federal government can take a long time. So
yeah,
depending on how many candidates they have. I mean, mind you, that's fairly kind of specialized stuff, the comms stuff and so on. But
so yeah, it's just like adventures in job hunt.
Oh my gosh!
Like, what the heck was that?
Yeah, the whole technology. I mean, there's some merit to that, because it gives you the opportunity. Let's say that's let's say that's a secondary kind of screening measure where you can kind of get a general idea of how someone will do in these questions before you kind of get to, you know, a potentially third in-person interview. But that's the problem, is that these things can go wrong, right? There's that human element where somebody's nervous or whatever the case may be, and it all falls apart. But yeah. I
don't know if I'll get to the third part of the interview once they look at my first answer and say, well, this is guy scratching his ear.
Well, or just maybe they'll say, you know, he's really good with personal hygiene.
Yeah, exactly. Well, with his finger. Why is he not using a Q-tip or something like that?
Hopefully he washes his hands before he goes to question 2.
Exactly.
So
anyway, that's my story for the week. That was like, oh, jeez.
That's hilarious.
So now I gotta wait and hear back. I don't know. I have the email of the person that, like the HR person. I don't know if I should reach out or just let the IT from the company do it. I think it's better to let the IT from the company do it.
You know what? In these cases, I would be proactive.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about it because I did send her an email originally just saying, listen, that doesn't say if these things save. If you can do like one question one day, come back and do the other question another day. Like it didn't say that. And so she wrote me back saying, I checked with the company and they do save. Next time, please check with the company.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Okay, well, there you go.
So I was like, oh, okay. I'm being scolded. Yeah.
So, just talking about work again, in the meantime, did you commute this week? You've been biking. You've been biking to work.
I have had a busy week at work. I haven't been biking. I didn't bike to work this week because I had some filming on location to do, which was a bit of a poop show, trying to get it out to do this.
Well, you were initially supposed to be working last weekend, right? You're doing a shoot in Carleton Place, and I think Carleton Place got hit pretty bad. They had no power at all.
Power, yeah. So that's why I got kind of postponed, and the communications through texting and stuff was spotty because of the whole power outage thing. So I ended up going out to Carleton Place, and well, fortunately, I did get an email from the guy in the first day. So I was supposed to go last Sunday, and somehow the email came through, so I didn't go. But then he said come Monday, so I went and didn't hear anything. So I said I'm going to go out there and see if I talk to him because nothing's coming through.
Yeah.
So I did, and then we said okay, Wednesday, and then Wednesday became Thursday. So I eventually did get it all done on Thursday, but I had the company vehicle and driving back and forth, so that's why I didn't get the bike to work. But this week is looking nice.
I did see you got out for an evening ride.
I did get out for an evening ride, yeah. I think that was that not Thursday evening?
I think so.
Yeah, I went a little further than I planned to.
On Strava. 14 kilometers, I believe.
Yeah, it was 8, almost 9 miles.
That's good.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll go to the Trans-Canada Trail and I'll just go down and come back. But then I ended up going like in a circle instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
So speaking of exercise and commuting and stuff like that, it's a Ottawa race weekend this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you're planning on driving somewhere, but
no,
you gotta...
I'm just going to the rink now.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So that's not anywhere near the race weekend.
Have you done any races in the Ottawa race weekend before?
I don't run.
You don't run? No. Unless somebody's chasing you.
Exactly, yeah.
So you don't run. You don't run for pleasure.
After I rob somebody and they're chasing me.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I do not run for pleasure. I do not like running.
There you go.
It's hard on me. Yeah. So no, I have never participated in the Ottawa.
I haven't done it in a while, but I've ran a few events, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really well organized.
It's a huge event for sure.
Well organized, really well recognized event now. Yeah, it's quite big, well supported, lots of fun.
Yeah.
Lots of fans out there, which is nice too.
I'm not a big fan of running, jogging, but you know what? I've enjoyed the bicycling, even though I feel dead after I come back from doing it.
Oh, it's so much fun.
But I feel already that even on my few rides, I feel like I'm building up a bit of stamina now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't take too long.
No.
Considering that you started when we went this winter to the cottage and you did
oh God.
Did a little bit of snowshoeing there.
Yeah, I was dying on that. Eh?
Yeah, you weren't doing great.
No.
we were worried that you may not make it back.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Well, I hate to say this to our good listener. I apologize.
You got to get off to the rink, and we're going to get off to take advantage of this beautiful day.
Exactly. But it is 45 minutes.
That's not
We
bad.
did 45. I
Yeah.
think we had some pretty good convo there.
That's good.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Well, no Duff again this week, so maybe hopefully he'll get to posting this sooner than usual. That he likes to wait or then disparage us in the comments. But
There you go.
yeah.
So hopefully this gets posted for our good listeners soon. If you would like to send us thoughts, comments about the new podcast name or the podcast renaming or anything else, or if there's any arborists out there with some comments for us, you can reach us at Cop Car Coffee on Twitter and copcarcoffee@gmail.com is our email address. So have a good week, DDT.
Thanks, JB. You too. That's Cop Car
Coffee.
Oh, all right.
What do you think?
It was good. Good combo. Enjoyed that.
That's fun.
Hopefully Duff will get this up as soon as possible. And I don't have to edit anything, thank God.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to be nice.